part of the Fourth and Gold Network. We're burning the books alive. 3-3 yesterday in the NBA. I was one of those guys that suffered from Steph Curry only getting 19 points, but I was able to hit a parlay and go up 17 units. So wasn't the worst of days. Nevertheless, back with my best bets in the NBA for December 12th. 12-12. Already a good sign. First up from the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown over 23.5 points, minus 111 odds over on FanDuel. He's had 25 points or more in his last 3 out of 4 games, 30, 31, 33, 24, and 28 points in his last 5 games versus Detroit. Jason Tatum is currently questionable with a knee injury, knee inflammation, I believe. He's cleared this line in his last 10 games without Jason Tatum, cleared this line in his last 3 games versus Detroit without Jason Tatum. Trying to get ahead of some injury news here, like the play of Jason Tatum plays as well. Next up, same game, same. From the Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham, man on a mission. Cade Cunningham over 8.5 assists, minus 132 odds over on FanDuel. He's had 9 assists or more in his last 12 out of 13 games. 14 and 15 assists in his last 2 games. 10 and 14 assists in his last 2 games versus Boston. So give me Cade Cunningham over his 9 assists. Sounds like a ladderable opportunity. If you are not new here, Buzz Buckley, what is that? What sport is that? Um, if you are new here, then you might not know this. If you've been around a while, then you know this is one of my favorite bets so far this season. Tim Hardaway Jr. of the Detroit Pistons under 1 steal. He's failed to register a steal in his last 17 out of 20 games. I don't know too much about the MMA. Got to tap in with my dog Aiden. Tim Hardaway Jr. under 1 steal. He's failed to register a steal in his last 17 out of 20 games. No steals in his last 5 games versus Boston. That's like a minus 240. So to take the juice down, paired it with Domantas Sabonis of the Sacramento Kings to pull down 10 rebounds. Sabonis, 10 rebounds or more in his last 10 out of 11 versus New Orleans. So Tim Hardaway Jr. of the Detroit Pistons under 1 steal. Sabonis of the Sacramento Kings over 10 rebounds. Parlayed together, that's minus 143 over on Bet 365. Drinking a little juice there. We only pay the juice if we lose. Next, in that same game, Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard over 15 points, got that at plus 105 odds over on FanDuel. Peyton Pritchard 19 points or more in his last 6 out of 7 games, 23, 20, 19, and 19 points in his last 4 versus Detroit. So we might be seeing the Jaylen Brown and the Peyton Pritchard show, if you know, if I am correct. In that Toronto and Miami Heat game, I like both Bam Adebayo and Jakob Poeltl to get 10 rebounds. You can, if you parlay those together, you can get that for plus money. I'm not in love with that play. Plus, I have their 8 rebounds in. I have both of them for 8 rebounds and a few parlays, so I don't have to put anything on them straight. RJ Barrett over 5.5 assists. I'm not mad at that. I like his rebounds too. Good luck. Shout out you, KD. Appreciate you for pulling up, man. Appreciate you for pulling up. Appreciate you for commenting. Appreciate the engagement. All right. So with that being said, my last play of today is going to be the Fox man, De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings over 23.5 points, minus 128 odds over on FanDuel. De'Aaron Fox, when he plays 38 minutes or more, which he's averaging over his last 20 games, 37.5 minutes is what he's averaging. De'Aaron Fox, when he's played 38 minutes or more, 26, 30, 33, and 35 points in his last 4 games versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Benji was popping. Now, if we know who's supposed to be checking him on the New Orleans Pelicans, that would be DeJounte Murray and CJ McCollum. Them boys might tear something or rupture an abductor trying to stay in front of De'Aaron Fox. All right? You stay working. So I'm taking De'Aaron Fox over his 23.5 points. Once again, 26, 30, 33, and 35 points when he plays his normal allotment of minutes in his last 4 games versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Let me give you some looks that I was. Let me give you some shit that I was looking at. All right. Derek White over 1 block looks really good. High hit rate. Tobias Harris over his 12 points looks really good. Jaylen Brown over his 6 first quarter points. He's hit this line in his last 4 games versus Detroit and is currently sitting at plus money. Peyton Pritchard 3 threes. I'm just waiting on that line to pop. Then I'm going to be grabbing that. Porzingis over his 2 or over his 3 threes. You can get his 3 threes at plus money. He's hitting that at a high rate. He's hitting his 8 rebounds at a high rate as well as his 20 points at a high rate. It just tends to go off versus Detroit. All of these looks, you can use them as, whatever you want to. But let's just call them parlay pieces. Malik Beasley over 3 and 4 threes looks solid and over his 15 points, a line that he's hit in his last 2 versus Boston. Talked about K, talked about Pirtle. Sneaky look I was looking at for the Miami Heat. Terry Rozier over his 11 points and over his threes. He's hit this in his last 2 games versus the Raptors. I was looking at Jimmy Butler under his 1 block. That's something you'll have to, like I said, parlay piece. RJ Barrett, like I was telling KD, over his 7 rebounds, looks like it's money. Over his 2 threes, a little risky, but it looks like it should be money. Duncan Robinson of the Miami Heat over his 2 threes should be money. And my last 2 parlay pieces I have for you all will be Sabonis for 6 assists and DeJounte Murray for 4 rebounds. Just like some parlay pieces with a high hit rate. That's all. So to run this back for you all, so we can get to this bread because it's out there. We just got to find it. To run this back for you all, my plays for today are going to be as follows. Jaylen Brown over 23.5 points. Cade Cunningham over 8.5 assists. Tim Hardaway Jr. under 1 steal parlayed with Domantas Sabonis over 10 rebounds. Peyton Pritchard over his 15 points, waiting on that 3-point line to pop. And last but not least, De'Aaron Fox over his 23.5 points. Like, comment, and subscribe for your daily sports betting videos and analysis. Let's keep burning them. As always, I will see you tomorrow. I'll probably see you later today, maybe like a short or something, or maybe like a edited video. Love, peace, and fish grease, man. Let's continue to run up some units. If you want all of my plays as soon as I take them, everything I just told you guys is already in a Patreon. If you want all my plays as soon as I take them for just 15 cents a day, subscribe to the Patreon. I will link that down below, patreon.com/F451. All right, let's manage that bankroll and let's get some money. I'm about to hit the sheets and look at some Thursday night football. All right, let's run it up.